Let's take another example on rounding off numbers to significant figures. This example says we should round off the number 40.28305 to 1SF, 2SF, 3SF, and 4SF. Do not forget that SF stands for significant figures. You can always pause the video and then try this question out yourself. Then you compare your answers to the solution gotten at the end of this video to see how well you've done. A, we are rounding off 40.28305. Now to one significant figure. That is, we start from the left and identify the first non-zero, and that is digit 4. And now that we've identified our rounding off point, we'll then take a look at the next digit to the right of the rounding off point, and that digit is 0. Now do not forget that when it is 0 to 4, we round down, but when it is 5 to 9, we round up. So since this is 0, it means we are rounding down. That is, we only add 0 to the rounding off point. And that will give us 4 plus 0, 4. Now remember that every other thing becomes 0, and you only have to write them when they are before the decimal point. So that means I will have 40. Every other thing after the decimal point is 0, which I do not need to write because they have no impact on 40. So that is 40.28305 is approximately 40 to 1 SF. Now, B, we are rounding off the same 40.28305, but this time to 2 SF. The first significant figure is 4, the second is 0. Now that we've identified our rounding off point, we then look at the next digit, and the next digit is 2. And when we work with this, it means that we're going to round down. And when we round down, it means we're adding 0 to this point, and that will give us 40. Now, every other thing becomes 0 as well, and this is also two significant figures. It is at this point that so many students get confused because they look at these two numbers and they see that we have 40 and we have 40 here. But this is one significant figure, this is two significant figures. Do not fret when you have this kind of answers. What we are looking out for is to ensure that every other digit that follow, actually you obey the rules for rounding up and rounding down. As long as you obey that rule, even if the answers look similar, they are not the same. Now to C. Still working with 40.28305, but this time rounding off to 3 significant figures. Now, when we look at this, we identify 2 as the digits in our rounding off point. Then the next digit to 2 is digit 8, which implies that we are going to round up. And by rounding up, we're going to add 1 to the rounding off point. And when we add that, we get 40 point. Now 2 plus 1 gives us 3. Now every other digit becomes 0. And recall when I said that when the digits after the decimal points are 0, we do not need to write them out. So in this case, we just write out 40.3, and we always tell that we have done this to 3 significant figures. It is always important that you put this at the end of your answer. If it is not there, the teacher doesn't know what you have done, right? Because as I've said earlier, you look at these two, they look similar. But when we stated that this is to 1 significant figure and this is to 2 significant figures, it helps whoever is checking your work to know what you have actually done. And then finally, D. 40.28305 to 4 significant figure. And the digit at the 4th significant place is 8. And next to 8, we have digit 3, which implies that we are rounding down. So we are adding a 0 this time. Now this gives us approximately 40.28. And always tell this. So we are saying to 4 significant figures. I hope you got the same answer. Bravo. And that's how we round off numbers to stated significant figures. Thank you.